what's the problem? What's the agenda? What are you getting out of it? It's getting ridiculous.
If you don't want to hear it in a school board meeting, why should children be able to check it out of the school system?
All these people came here to defend you all from hurtful words. This is obnoxious. Let me just say, there is one goal for the educational system.
You're going to put all of their moral health and safety at risk. And like I told you before, you will face litigation.
These are times when parents spoke against the woke curriculum. Parents are yanking their kids from left-wing public schools at an increasing rate, and the problem will likely worsen. Let's rewind to 2021, Loudoun County, Virginia. The school board was on the verge of passing new policies around transgender rights and critical race theory. But the moment they opened the floor to parents, chaos erupted. Over 250 parents packed into the school board meeting, voices raised, frustrations boiling over.
I never thought I'd see the day when I'd have to stand up to protect my kids from their own school board. You put the feelings of a few above the safety and discomfort of the entire rest of the student body.
My child is not oppressed, and don't assume that. As long as you Marxists push your unconstitutional agenda on my child, she will not be returning back to Loudoun County schools.
Tensions ran so high that the meeting turned into a battleground. The police had to step in, and yes, a few arrests were even made. It got so intense that the superintendent had no choice but to call off the entire meeting. At an Illinois school board meeting, a father didn't hold back and absolutely blasted critical race theory. Take a look at this powerful moment.
When you talk about critical race theory, which is pretty much going to be teaching kids how to hate each other, how to dislike each other, Martin Luther King said he wanted his kids to grow up in a world where they are judged by the contents of their what? Their character, not their skin. If they letting this stuff go on right now, it is absolutely doing the complete reverse of what he's doing. So when February comes, don't talk about Martin Luther King. When February comes, don't talk about Black History Month. So the CRT stuff, BS.
John Amanchukwu, a powerful preacher and author, has been a strong voice against the indoctrination of children. He's not afraid to call out what he sees as a dangerous shift in education. Take a look at what he has to say.
And we didn't have many of the tragic ideologies being pushed upon our children, like transgenderism, grooming, critical race theory, and what this county calls racial consciousness. Critical race theory will never solve racism because critical race theory is racism.
Talking about school books, it's no surprise that school curriculum books are also being wokealized. One such book, containing graphic sex acts with illustrations, has sparked outrage among parents and communities. During a school board meeting, John Amanchukwu attempted to read from the book, but he was immediately shut down. Have a look.
Hello, Navarro. Suck any good lately. What's wrong, Navarro? I think you like a big in your mouth. Ha ha ha. Page 23. The other boy, page 23. It's in your library. Here it is. What's the educational benefit of talking about the What's the educational benefit of talking about that?
Later, referring to the incident, he said,
"We have perverts that are perverting our kids. And you all sit back smug in your chairs and celebrate diversity, equity, and inclusion, but you don't want me to read it."
The concerns here are more than valid. Just imagine, would you be okay with your 10-year-old being made to read a book in school with explicit visuals glorifying homosexuality and The same outcry happened in Dearborn, Michigan, where not only Christian parents, but also a significant number of Muslim parents joined forces to protest school library books containing explicit LGBT content. Parents say it is unacceptable to allow these types of books to be in school libraries. A savage grandpa took the board meeting by storm, speaking out against an inappropriate book titled Boy Toy. His fiery words left no room for debate. Let's see what went down.
So when you go through it, you know what the difference is, and where up is up, and down is down, and left is left, and right is right, and wrong is wrong. And you people are dumb people. You're not smart enough to know that you should take this book out and potentially put it in the regular library.
The bold grandpa wasn't holding back. He called out the teachers in exactly the way they needed to hear. No filter, just facts.
Good evening, cowards. Nice to see a bunch of fat, ugly women in this.
Oh,
What?
excuse you.
What?
You know what? Can we stick to the agenda?
No.
I'm speaking. They're fat, ugly women is what they are. Let's talk about it.
Ouch! This next video is going to blow your mind and seriously make you question the very educational system we're funding.
Hi, my name's Knox Zajac. I'm 11 years old and I go to Wyndham Middle School. I'm a 6th grader. I was in the library and this book was on a stand. I'd like to read you a page. My back over my hips as I ask if we should take our clothes off. And he's saying yes before I finish my sentence. He's pulling off my t-shirt, laughing when I can't undo his shirt buttons. He's undoing my belt. I'm reaching into his bedside drawer for a condom. We're kissing. Again, we're rolling over. Obviously, you can see where this is going.
And if that wasn't shocking enough, the child went on to explain that the librarian even offered him a graphic version of the book. Is this what our children are being exposed to every day? If you're finding this video interesting, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more content like this. The diversity and equality agenda is completely taking over. In this next clip, you can see John Amanchukwu spitting facts and uncovering some statistics.
This past year, we spent $1 million on a diversity office.
But the question here is, how did this help black children, or children in general? According to the National Assessment of Educational Progress, NAEP, a sector of the U.S. Department of Education, 84% of black students lack proficiency in mathematics, and 85% of black students lack proficiency in reading skills. Well, the statistics are clear enough to show how the main goal of school, which was providing education, has been completely diverted.
We're wasting money on a diversity, equity, and inclusion office while we are failing black students in the name of diversity. And as we talk about inclusion and making sure that the trans student feels comfortable and the queer student feels comfortable, what does that have to do with reading, writing, and arithmetic?
On another occasion, Republican state senator and concerned parent, Chris Trackle, didn't hold back during a Caldwell School District board meeting. He slammed the school for its proposed guidance that would allow transgender students to use bathrooms matching their gender identity.
You, under Idaho law, are required to maintain the morals and health of all the students. How can you do that when, like that little girl came up here and said, and you allow a male to use a female bathroom?
But before he could finish speaking, his mic was muted, and the school board immediately called a 15-minute recess. That only made things worse. Parents in the audience grew even more enraged. Before we dive into more juicy content, go ahead and smash that like button real quick. Moving forward, a furious parent questioned how children could be expected to make such life-changing decisions once they're 18. But right now, as toddlers, no way.
These are kids. They can be 18. If they want to become gay, let them become gay. Who cares? It's not our problem.
A mother raised a similar concern, emphasizing that children are dependent on their parents and can't make important decisions without them. She went on to say that schools seem to have lost focus on their primary purpose, to be educational institutions, not places pushing ideological agendas.
Let me just say, there is one goal for the educational system. It should be to prepare children to enter careers to be productive members of society. It is not a counseling session. It is not a self-help area. It is not somewhere to find yourself, and we should not be led by the children, for goodness sake. The children are called dependents for a reason.
Parents are genuinely scared, and with good reason. There have been instances where children were transitioned without even informing, let alone getting consent from their parents. Take this clip from a meeting at the Chico Unified School District, where a mother claimed the school transitioned her child without her knowledge.
During one of those one-on-one meetings, my daughter told the counselor she wanted to tell me about her new identity. The counselor ignored her requests and did nothing to support her in letting me know what was going on at school. Before this happened to our family, I would have not believed this was going on in our schools, especially at the elementary level.
And she's not alone. In 2020, January Littlejohn's 13-year-old daughter was socially transitioned at her public middle school, again, without her knowledge. Since then, Littlejohn has become a fierce parental rights advocate, helping other families navigate similar crises. She talks about how, despite her efforts, the school kept her completely in the dark.
So I was very confused and shocked how they had had a meeting with my daughter that I didn't know about, and I wasn't invited to or anything like that. So I immediately emailed the school counselor, and she called me back with the assistant principal. So immediately I knew something was off. And they said, Mrs. Littlejohn, we cannot give you any information about the meeting we had with your child. They are now protected by a non-discrimination law.
The enraged parents aren't backing down. They've come together to form an organization called Moms for Liberty. Established in 2021, this American political group advocates against school curricula that discuss LGBT rights, race and ethnicity, critical race theory, and discrimination. They've even launched campaigns to ban books addressing gender and sexuality from school libraries. Founded by Tina Descovich and Tiffany Justice, Moms for Liberty is dedicated to fighting for liberty and parental rights in education.
Parents have the fundamental right to direct the upbringing of their children. That's their education, their medical care, their moral and religious upbringing. And so we're standing in that truth. What we see when Biden says in the Rose Garden or to teachers, when they're in your classroom, they're your children. No, sir, they are not your children. These are our children, and we will stand in defense of them every single day of the week.